They play the Cowboys. After starting the season 0-6, the Giants have quietly put together 4 wins in a row, while the Cowboys have been up and down. They sit at 5-5. But the good news for Dallas entering Week 12, only 2 of their remaining 6 games are against teams over 500. So said it's the easiest schedule in the NFC East. Skip Bayless, I ask you this, who wins?
Stephen A. Smith. As a Dallas Cowboy lifelong fan, I hate to admit this publicly, I do not like my Cowboys' chances at the Giants this Sunday. This sets up as classic revenge game for your Giants for what happened on opening night at Jerry World. And I will remind our viewers that on opening night, Dallas survived only because your quarterback, Eli Manning, threw 3 interceptions, one a later pick 6. And yet, in the process, Stephen A., I must remind myself, Eli that night threw for 450 yards and 4 touchdowns. And I fear more of the same this Sunday in the Meadowlands. Even though Dallas is coming off a bye week, the last 3 years they have lost off their bye week. And the stench, the stink, the rancid taste of what happened in New Orleans, I think is still all over this football team. And I remind you on that game, Dallas gave up an NFL record 40 first downs to the Saints, and Tony Romo and company were 0 for 9 on 3rd down. So here come your Giants again, doing what they do best, which is coming back from the dead. And Stephen A., the only reason they got off to an 0-6 start is because your quarterback inexplicably had 17 turnovers in those first 6 games. In the 4 they have won since then, Eli has a grand total of 2 turnovers. No coincidence. Eli has figured it back out the way we all thought that he probably would. So the Giants have been down this road before. I think they are going north, and I think Dallas is heading south. Jerry Jones, I have no idea. My mind is blown by his announcement, his declaration that Jason Garrett's job is safe, that he will coach next year. Wow, that'll light a fire under the team, Jerry. Just when you needed a little new sense of urgency, put a little pep in their step, have them looking over their shoulders in fear for their jobs. Nope. My son, Jason Garrett, will be back next year to coach. I don't like anything about the way this game shapes up for the Dallas Cowboys. I will go Giants pretty easily here, 32-21.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, Skip, to see you, just point out some of the problems that the Dallas Cowboys have had. Because we know that I do it often, and I quite enjoy it. I
am so sick
I must tell you, however, that listen. This game is tailor-made for the New York Giants. I spoke to Matthias Kiwanuka earlier this week on my radio show with Ryan Rucco, ESPN New York 98.7 FM, of course. And, one of the things that we were talking about is how pivotal this game is. They're taking one game at a time. And I give credit to the New York Giants because they've always had that mentality, whether it's Antrell Rowe, whether it's Matthias Kiwanuka, whether it's Jason Pierre-Paul, the list goes on and on. You see guys getting healthier. You see guys attaching a level of urgency to every single moment left in this season. They know the room for error is nil. They can't afford it. It's the Dallas Cowboys that we're talking about here. I think the New York Giants going to be ready. The fact that Andre Brown is back in the lineup, he's averaging nearly 4 yards a carry. He's being a workhorse in the backfield for them, which is something that they didn't have for pretty much throughout that 6-game losing streak to open their season. I think you look at the kind of year that Victor Cruz is having. This dude's got like 824 yards, 58 receptions. He's flat out baller. Had 8 receptions for 110 yards last week against Green Bay. We haven't seen him doing the salsa too much, but the bottom line is he's getting it done. He's handling his business. Now, I think in light of that reality, you're the Dallas Cowboys. Your secondary is an issue. I think Hakeem Nicks could have a breakout game. I think Brandon Myers could have a breakout game. I think Ruben Randall, one of those 3 is going to help Victor Cruz, who's going to do his thing and is living up to the $46 million contract that he got in the offseason. I love what I'm seeing from the New York Giants right now because the defense has improved. All right? They're bending, but they're not breaking. And not only are they doing things offensively in their passing attack with Eli cutting down on the turnovers, you got a workhorse in Andre Brown that's helping him. He's averaging about 3.8 yards a carry. It doesn't knock your socks off. It's not, all lights out. It's not out what Alfred Morris is doing in the nation's capital for the Washington Redskins, but it's enough. And it's giving the New York Giants some degree of balance, which is taking some of the pressure off of Eli Manning, which is making him incredibly formidable. So I'm very happy with what I'm seeing from the New York Giants. And as far as I'm concerned, if they lost this game to Dallas, it would ruin everything that they accomplished over the last 4 games in this win streak, because you got an opportunity to tie the Dallas Cowboys and really to knock them. I'm not knock them out, but it's putting their playoff aspirations in jeopardy, which I predict will happen anyway. So I got the Giants winning this game. I'd say 31-26.
Close enough. And do you realize your Giants have another chance to make history on Sunday? No team has ever started off 0-6 and then won 5 straight. I think it's going to be 5 straight. And my final point to you is...
Yes, so do I.
Yeah. My final anti-Cowboy point, I thought your Giants were slick and sly and shrewd operators to call out Dez Bryant and say you have to get physical and take him out of the game. Every time somebody does this to Dez, he overreacts to it. He tries too hard, he plays a little out of control, and he will drop some passes. So I say, way to go, Giants. Congratulations.
Way to go, Giants. Congratulations. Go ahead, Stephen A.
I think the thing that has Dez Bryant, I think the thing that has Dez Bryant, willing to try too hard is that he's seeing the lack of production surrounding him. He hates to lose. He's trying to win. He knows what a stud he can be. He needs some help. He's got the fire in his belly that most dudes in their uniform don't have. And I think that has a lot to do with how he goes out and puts forth an extra effort, because he feels if he doesn't do it, nobody else will. And I wonder where he gets that attitude from.
I know a thing or two about having fire and belly on said set. Coming up, guys, no big surprise on what game is the game of the weekend. Yes, we are talking about Brady and